Hello, I'm Joel Mills, and I'm from Millwork Farms in Thompsontown, Pennsylvania. And we're going to be doing a virtual farm tour here. And I'd love to have you join us to see what we have to offer and see what the insides and outs of what our dairy farm's like. And below is the link you can register at to join us.
And welcome to our virtual farm tour. We are so excited to have you with us today. Before we get started on our tour, I want to go over a few housekeeping items. To best enjoy this tour, we suggest putting this on full up close cows, calves, and other super cool. I'd really love for you to do is ask questions. That's what I'm here for, and Farmer Joel, of course, who is the expert. So use the Q&A feature if you're joining us via Zoom. If you're joining us via Facebook or YouTube, I promise your questions will probably get answered if you turn your listening ears on. Of course, the third thing I'd love for you to do is use some of our additional resources available at americandairy.com, which includes lesson plans, other past virtual tours, and that includes tours of over 20 other farms. And Joel, I'm sure you can agree, every farm is different, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So if you watch this tour, love it, want to see another farm, definitely check those out. But without further ado, we're going to get started. So Joel, thank you for having us at the farm. Tell us a little bit about your farm.
I'm glad to have everybody here this morning. So a little bit about our farm. We're here in Thompsontown, Pennsylvania. We milk around 125 cows, and we have 190 to 200 acres that we provide the feed for them with. Okay. It's a family-operated farm. I'm a first-generation farmer, which means my parents did not have a farm. We started back in 2003.
Wow. That's very cool. So we've met a lot of farmers who are maybe third or fourth generation farmers, but you are the first generation here and the first generation to farm.
Yes, that's correct.
Very cool. Okay. I mean, Joel, I'm sure the students are going to ask us later how you got into that, but we will save that, students, because we want to get started heading over to the farm. So we're going to go ahead and head right over to the cow barn first. So Joel, we're seeing some cow barns here. These look very light and bright and airy. So tell me a little bit about this barn and why you chose to keep it or build it this way.
When we moved to the farm here,
okay.
This barn was here already. It has a lot of good ventilation. We've done a lot of renovations in it to make it healthier and more comfortable for the cows. It's worked very well for us. The cows do very good. It's very comfortable for them, and they like it.
Oh gosh. Okay. So we're seeing a bunch of these cows and they are really enjoying these beds that they're laying on. So Joel, what are they laying on? Tell us a little bit about this.
So this is for maximum comfort for what we like. They're water beds. They have about 13 gallons of water in every mattress.
In every bed?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And actually, as the cow lays down, it helps her float and stay off a hard surface and gives her a comfortable place to lay.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Now, it looks like there's some other stuff on top of the mattresses. What's that?
That is sawdust that we get from a local shop around here in our area. And that helps keep the stall dry, clean. And so the cows stay healthy.
Gotcha. So we're seeing how, students, you can see the water beds as they wiggle. I bet you never imagined that cows sleep on water beds. That's pretty cool. So now, Joel, obviously lots of focus on cow comfort. How long will these cows spend in the beds each day? How long do you want them sleeping and resting?
They need to lay down 10, 12 hours a day, rest. So they can, the more they lay, the more milk they make in their udders.
Oh, okay. So we definitely want rest.
Yes.
Got it. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Now, it looks like we're seeing some other features of the barn now, including a lot of these cows up here having a tasty breakfast buffet. So talk to me about this. How often are your cows getting fed? What are they eating?
These cows, they eat corn silage, which is a chopped up corn stalk.
Yep.
Alfalfa, which is chopped up alfalfa stems.
Gotcha.
And some other grains.
Okay.
They're fed that twice a day.
Got it. Oh, and we're seeing some other cool features. Sorry, students, to interrupt. We're seeing some of the fans, and is this like a slip and slide? What have we got going on here?
It's sprinklers. It's sprinklers that keep them cool. They like to go. Cows have leather. That's their skin, and they don't sweat real well. So this helps cool them.
Okay. So basically, students, that cool water gets on them, helps pull the heat, and then it evaporates, right?
Yes.
That's how we want it to work? Okay. So evaporative cooling, very cool. Well, and of course, we just talked about it's getting warmer here. Cows need to drink water too. So how much water would they drink in a day? How much water does a cow drink in a day?
Cows can drink on a normal day 30 gallons. They can drink 50 gallons. Depends on how hot it gets.
Okay.
The hotter it gets, the more they'll drink.
Wow, very cool. And it looks like, too, we're seeing, Joel, some of the technology you use on your farm. These really cool little earrings your cows got going on. What are those for?
In the cow's right ear is a RFID tag.
Okay.
It's an electronic tag that is specific to our farm.
Got it. Okay. So that's like her driver's license, maybe, right? Like all her information's in there?
Yes. And it also is linked to her number that is linked to her name and who she is.
Got it.
Because they all do have names and numbers.
Oh, well, that was a big question for our students that they sent in beforehand. We saw your questions, students, for pre-questions, and one of them was, do they all have names? So
Ours
do have names. Okay. Must be very tricky to come up with a lot of names for all these cows, right?
Yes.
Okay.
My daughter does that.
Okay.
So but she does there's a baby book, there's online. I mean, we try to keep the same names with the same letters with the same family.
Oh, got it. Okay, now we're seeing the feeding process. So students, we're coming back to what these cows eat. I can't lie, Joel. Those look like big tubes of marshmallows. What am I looking at?
That is the feed that is stored for the cows.
Okay.
It's kept fresh in there. It's very tasty.
Gotcha.
They like good flavored food.
Okay. And now we're seeing like a big blender. So you mentioned corn, you mentioned alfalfa. So are we putting all these ingredients in and then mixing them up?
Yes, it's called a TMR.
A TMR. Okay, what does that stand for?
Total mixed ration.
A total mixed ration. Okay, students. So that's what our cows are eating, is a total mixed ration. Very interesting. Okay, and it looks like that's going in to get to their buffet. Now, cows are big animals. How much does a cow weigh?
A cow weighs 1,500 to 1,700 pounds.
Okay, students, 1,500 to 1,700 pounds. Now, how much does a cow need to eat then in food if she's that big?
She'll eat around 110 to 120 pounds a day of feed.
120 pounds, students, of food every single day. That is a lot of food that you guys have to produce as farmers for these cows. That's very impressive. Now, and a couple other questions were, how old are these cows, and maybe how long do cows live?
These cows are anywhere from 2 years to 9 years old.
Okay, very cool. So maybe some of your oldest cows, how long could a cow live to be? Some of the oldest ones. 9's about the oldest.
Nine plus a little bit.
9 plus. Perfect. Very cool. Now, these are all what we would consider adult cows, right? And how old is a cow when it becomes an adult?
2.
2 years old, students. So 24 months old. Oh my gosh. So cows are also super cool, Joel, as I understand it. They have a little bit different stomach going on to digest all these plants, right? Because if we tried to digest all that fiber, we couldn't do it.
That's right.
Okay. So what does a cow's stomach have that's unique maybe to ours?
A cow's a ruminant. There's bacteria, there's different things in there that work together to help digest it. So that when they're a ruminant, that means they have 4 compartments to their stomachs. 4
compartments, students, not 4 stomachs.
That's correct.
4 compartments. Okay, very important. Very, very big difference. So, and those 4 compartments help each do different things. So one of the things I think is super cool, Joel, that cows are kind of like superheroes because they can take food that we can't digest and turn it into milk.
That's correct.
Which most of us, now some of us can't digest milk as well, but including you.
That's
right,
correct.
Joel? Including Joel, a dairy farmer, which is lactose
intolerant.
Yes, it happens. But so these cows are really doing something neat by making food that we wouldn't be otherwise able to digest into something that most of us can. Very, very cool. Okay, so Joel, remind our students total number of adult cows on the farm.
125.
125. Okay, some of the students were just asking that again. Now, of course, we've seen some beautiful cows here. What breed of cows are these? Most of them seem to be black and white.
So predominantly in our herd, we have Holsteins.
Holsteins.
There will
Okay.
be a couple of them that will be red and white also. You might see
Mhm.
some of them if there's a red and white one. And there are some brown ones speckled through there. We have a
Okay.
few brown Swiss cows.
Gotcha, gotcha. So a few different breeds here on the farm, and we're seeing some close-up of that TMR. Now, we talked about corn and alfalfa. Is there anything else in there for the cows that we mix in?
There's triticale,
Triticale,
which is
okay.
another forage feed, a plant.
Gotcha.
And then some grains,
Got some
corn,
grains.
soybean
Okay.
meal, and minerals.
Very cool. Oh, okay, minerals. So maybe balancing out some of the vitamins and minerals. Like
Yes.
students, you might take a vitamin. Cows get some of those too. That's pretty cool. And of course, now we're seeing some of the areas surrounding the farm. And Joel, I think we're seeing a cornfield over there, right? So
That's correct.
You're growing
from the
that.
distance.
Yes, from the distance.
That's what they'll eat next winter.
Oh, okay. Very amazing. All right, students, we have learned a lot. I do believe it is time for you to take a quiz. So let's roll that quiz. And while we're rolling the quiz, you guys will do your best work to match up these tricky questions with the answers from the answer bank. Joel and I will continue to answer some of your questions while we're doing this. So one of the questions that the students were asking was, do you have any other animals on the farm?
Yes.
Okay.
We have one horse.
One horse, okay.
And cats.
And cats, some cats hanging out.
And one dog.
And one dog, yes. One very sweet, big, fuzzy dog. So that was the other question of other animals. Another question we had from the students were why, when we saw all the cows, she was asking why they were all so close together up at the feed bunk. So maybe you want to explain how kind of the freestall barn setup you have works.
Cows have the choice to lay down.
Okay.
And whenever it's feeding time, the majority of them like to come and eat together.
Gotcha.
There's a few that will lay down at that time, but most
Okay.
of them, when there's fresh feed, no different than having fresh pizza or fresh food. Everybody likes to eat when there's fresh food.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. And we did see students, each cow can have her own individual stall, which Joel explained, so that they can have their own space to go lay down, but then they'll kind of share space at the buffet or the feed.
That's right.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, another question that the students were asking about for some of the cows was, this was specific to you, was do you have a favorite cow?
I'd say I have a couple.
A couple. Okay, a couple cows.
So I have a couple names. One named Caden.
Okay.
One named Dollop.
Got it. Caden and Dollop are Farmer Joel's favorite cows on the farm. Hard to pick favorites when you have so many.
That's right.
Right? Now, students, I know that you guys are getting all of these questions absolutely correct because you were paying attention, of course, to all of our great information from Farmer Joel. Here are the answers to those quick quiz questions. And now, Joel, now that we've seen the adult cows, of course, the reason you have the cows is because they produce milk. And in order, I'm assuming, to get that, we need to go see the milking parlor now.
That's correct.
Okay, off to the milking parlor we go, students. Now, Joel, how many times a day are you milking your cows?
We milk 2 times a day.
Okay, 2 times a day.
The cows make that journey there twice a day, every day, 7 days a week.
Christmas?
365 days a year.
Easter?
Easter,
Everything?
Christmas, yep.
Okay, got it. Halloween? I mean,
Yes,
nothing's off
every
limits.
day.
Okay. So we're seeing the cows make their way to the parlor right now. Now, students, as a reminder, a lot of this footage can come live from the farm, but I'm assuming, Joel, that maybe you milk your cows early in the morning and in the early evening. Is that correct?
That's correct,
Okay.
yes.
So this is a recording that we've gotten of Farmer Joel milking his cows because what time did you milk this morning?
We milked at 5:30 this morning.
Okay, students, I don't know if you were up at 5:30, but we certainly weren't broadcasting live at 5:30. So Joel got it done then. We're seeing the whole process. So explain to me these first steps.
The cow, you strip, which is squirt some of the milk out of every quarter. Good quality.
Okay.
It allows to see if there's any imperfections.
Okay.
And then next, and whilst the teat is still dry, some of the dirt, if there's a little dirt there, it's rubbed off.
Gotcha.
And then it's dipped with an iodine solution.
Okay.
And then wiped off with a cloth towel
cool.
to make it sterile and clean.
Yeah, we're seeing you come through there with that right now. Now, of course, your cows, as you shared with us, lay in clean, dry beds and all of that kind of stuff. But just like any of us outside, right? Sometimes you get dirt on you.
That's right.
It happens, right? So of course, Joel here is putting that tincture on. Now, is that like a hand sanitizer kind of a thing?
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's got conditioners, so your skin doesn't get dry.
Oh, nice. Lotion in there too.
Yes.
Very important. Okay, so we're seeing Joel do that process now. Now, I'm sure students, some of you might have been wondering, oh my gosh, is Farmer Joel going to milk these cows by hand? You can, spoiler alert, right? We're not going to milk them by hand? No.
We'd be here all day.
We'd be here all day. Okay, so that means we're going to see some cool technologies that are used to milk cows. Now, you're going through with that nice microfiber towel. Does every cow get her own towel?
Every cow gets her own towel.
Every cow gets her own towel. Okay. So now some other questions that the students are coming in with is, how much milk is each cow making every day?
So our cows, typically we measure it in pounds, but the calculation I'll give you is it's about 10 gallons a day.
Okay.
So that's 80, 85 pounds of milk every day.
Gotcha.
That's split between 2 milkings. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. A lot of milk. Okay. So students, 10 gallons. So close your eyes. You can envision the grocery store. Now, 10 gallons, 10 of those from every cow multiplied by how many cows did you say?
125.
125 cows. You guys do the math. It's a lot of pounds. Okay. It's a lot of pounds of milk. But now, Joel, where is most of your milk going when it leaves the farm?
So first, gets in the milk truck after
the
milk truck backs up to the tank.
Yep.
Takes the milk, and some of it will go to a place that makes chocolate milk nearby, or it can also go to a fluid plant close to Philadelphia.
Wow. Okay. So your milk is definitely going for fresh use,
yes.
Mostly fluid milk. Got it. We're seeing these super cool machines on here, and some of the students are curious, does this feel good for the cows? Is this comfortable? They seem really still and calm and quiet.
It is. Okay. So whenever the cow lets her milk down, oxytocin is produced, and that makes her relax.
Feel good, happy chemical. Okay,
yep, it's a happy hormone.
Yeah, so. Gotcha. Okay, so we're seeing this process. Now, Joel, these special machine units that you're attaching, is it like light pressure? Is that designed just for the cow? How did you come across this technology?
So it's been adjusted, so it works perfectly for our cows.
Okay.
It's just the right amount of vacuum to get it out without doing any damage, and that's why the cows do not mind it.
Don't mind it at all, it would seem. They're happy. Now, how long does this take? I mean, some of the students are asking, if you're milking twice a day, are they in here for a few hours or a few minutes?
About 5 minutes per cow is what it takes.
So that's all. She comes in, stands there, 5 minutes of that, and then she's
back to the barn.
Back to the barn.
Yep.
Okay, students. So if you think about that, 5 minutes a day multiplied by 2 milkings, that's 10 minutes. So she only has to go to work for 10 minutes a day.
That's right.
I mean, that sounds kind of nice. Now, what are we seeing now? This looks like a finger painting experiment.
This is what is called a post dip.
Oh,
it also has some antibacterials in it also.
Okay.
So bacteria does not grow, and also more skin conditioners, more lotions to keep her skin healthy.
I know. That looks absolutely delightful. So basically, we could catch some of these cows, get their skincare routine. It's really what we should be doing. So every cow goes through this whole process. She gets cleaned, check her health. She gets milked. Then she gets the final safety protection conditioners. Yes. And then she heads back to the barn.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Very, very good. So now some of these students were asking, do any of these cows happen to maybe not like milking? Some of the students were asking, are you guys safe when you're in the milking parlor?
Occasionally there's one. It's typically a younger one that has not been used to it. But yeah, occasionally till they get used to the cycles and everything, the process.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Now, some of the other students were asking as well, if you have all these cows milking, are they having calves all the time? Or does a cow have to have a calf to be milked?
About once a year.
Okay.
The cow's having a calf. Yes.
Gotcha.
To make milk, the cow has to have a calf.
Got it. So some of the other students were asking, because we did mention that cows have to be milked 365 days a year.
Yes.
Some of the students were asking, how do you do holidays? How do you celebrate?
In between milkings. That's correct.
It's mostly family labor here on this.
Yes.
Yeah?
All family.
All family labor. Okay, students. So basically, Farmer Joel really likes his job, and when you like your job, it's not work. So still get to celebrate some of the holidays. Very cool. And what are we seeing now? What in the world is this?
So this is what's called a plate cooler.
Okay.
The milk goes one direction through it, and cold water from out of the ground goes the other direction, and it pre-cools the milk before it goes to the milk tank, and then that water that has gone through there is actually recycled and used for washing in the milking parlor.
Oh, awesome.
When we're done.
Oh, awesome. Oh, and we are actually seeing, you talked about this, Joel,
yes.
the milk truck backing down the driveway. That is an impressive. Wow, very cool. Okay, so you're milk. Awesome, got it. In addition to that, okay, students, looks like we're back online. So we're seeing the milk truck back down the driveway now. Very cool. Okay, and how, you said every day that this milk is picked up. So students, we learned the milk is cooled. What temperature is it cooled to?
It's cooled to 36 to 37 degrees.
Okay, so cooled right down. I know I like my milk ice cold.
That's the best way. Absolutely.
Best way. So of course, then it's getting on a plant like we about, and that truck is refrigerated as well, correct?
It's well insulated is what it is.
Okay, students, I think you have some questions to answer so you can test your knowledge. While you're working on that, we're going to answer a couple of the questions that students have asked. One of the students was actually asking us about when we talked about calves, and you mentioned that each cow is having a calf in order to produce milk. One of the students asked, do the cows only have calves at a certain time of year?
Ours have them all year round.
Okay, wow. So there's no specific time of year that those cows are. Okay. So how many a day, maybe, if we wanted to average it for the students?
For on our farm, you could probably say one every other day.
One every other day. This is a busy place.
Yes,
okay,
all the time.
Got it. Some of the other questions that we've had come in were, does what you feed the cows affect their milk? And
it does.
Quality?
And that's why whenever you saw the big, large marshmallows out there with the feed in it, the sweet feed, it's very sweet smelling. And the flavor of that makes the cows are happy, and it makes good flavored milk.
Gotcha. Okay. So definitely, and students, we know this with our own bodies, right? We put good food into our bodies. We can perform really well. We play sports well. We do well in school. Same thing with our cows.
They perform much better with good feed.
Got it. So another question that some of the students had were a very interesting one for us. Do the cows ever get so excited that they run to and from the parlor or around the farm?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Well, the thing that makes them run the most is wind. Whenever it's windy out, they get all excited in the wind.
Got it. So some of the other students actually were asking too. We saw those really cool barns, right? With fans, sprinklers to keep them cool, all that kind of stuff. Some of the students were asking though, do the cows go outside to the field, or are they mostly staying in the barn?
They stay in the barn.
Okay.
Some of them that aren't milking before they have calves again, they'll go out to the field some. But the cows that are in the barn, when they're working and they're milking, they actually prefer to stay in the barn because they have fans. They have everything to keep them comfortable.
That's fair. That's fair.
And in the summertime when it's sunny and hot, they don't like to go outside.
I get that. I really do get that. Well, students, I hope you got all those answers correct. We are now off to visit the cutest members of the farm. We're heading over to the calf barn next. Now, you mentioned a calf every other day.
Yes.
And basically a cow is having one calf a year. So one of the questions that was pre-submitted was, how long is the gestation period of a cow?
It is 280 days, which is 9 months.
Okay. 9 months. Very good to know. We're seeing your calf barn now and your calf manager. So talk to us a little bit about what we're seeing and what work you guys do with the calves.
So this is my oldest daughter. She takes care of the calves in the morning, and she manages the calf barn. So these calves are getting grain. It's a pelleted feed. They get about 3.5 pounds twice a day.
Oh,
so they're eating about 7 pounds of grain a day.
Okay.
So they get fresh feed and fresh water every day.
Every day. Now, when the calves are really little, do they get milk or in addition to the grain?
Yes, they get milk in addition to the grain. It's fed through a bottle.
Okay.
And until they're weaned around 5 weeks old.
Oh, okay. Wow. Very cool. So now, how much milk does each calf need every day?
Each calf gets about 4 quarts total a day,
Okay.
two
Okay.
quarts each feeding.
2 quarts each feeding. Got it. And then do you scale that up as they get bigger?
No, they could.
Okay.
We give them a feed that has berry flavor in it,
Oh,
and they like the flavor of it, and
got it.
they eat that feed as their nutrition demands it. They
Okay.
start to eat feed right away.
Oh, okay. So you really jump them right into there. Now, some of the students were asking, since we know our calves are, excuse me, our cows are around 1,500 pounds, somewhere in there, 1,100 to 1,500. How big is her calf then when it's born?
So they're approximately the 85 pounds.
That's a
But
big
yeah,
baby.
sometimes up to 110, 115.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, in that 80 plus range is
Okay. Got it.
Good idea.
So about 80 pound students when the calf is born. Now, how quickly is she going to grow? Is she going to stay kind of small for a little while, or does she grow up really quick?
They grow very fast.
Very fast.
Baby calves can gain about 2 pounds a day.
2 pounds a day.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So students, they are definitely eating their Wheaties, so to speak. So definitely you're wanting these calves to get in all the high quality nutrition to be able to support 2 pounds of growth every single day. Now, some of the other students were asking, are all of these cows girls?
Yes.
Calves, excuse me. Are all of these calves girls?
Yes. All these calves are girls in this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you're raising the next generation of cows for the farm.
That's correct.
Okay. So the next question that of course follows this is, what about the boy calves?
The boy calves, we sell them to a market, and they're for the beef industry.
For the beef industry. Okay, so a little bit of a career change. They're not going to be in the milking herd. They're going to go to a different farm, be raised there.
That's correct.
Okay, got it. That makes a lot of sense then. So now we're seeing some of that process, like you talked about, of getting those bottles prepped up to head out. Now, do you feed milk from the cows, or do you make it from like a milk replacer?
It's a powdered milk.
It's a powdered
milk replacer, and it's mixed up with warm water.
Got it.
About 110-degree water.
Okay.
And mix it up fresh. And the reason we use the powder is there's no disease from it, because sometimes there can be a mother that would not have something when they're little, and there could be disease transmission by chance to a baby calf.
Right.
And so we so from day one, for consistency, we feed a powdered milk their whole life.
Got it. And I can imagine too, there might be even some variation in the quality depending on the cow and her life trajectory and whatnot.
Yes.
So this just keeps it really consistent.
The same.
Okay.
Cows like consistency. Whether it's cows or baby calves, they like consistency.
Got it. So we're seeing for those of our students out there who might be looking for a career, this looks like a fun, almost borderline chef job with our big whisk. And Joel, you had shared earlier that it's all family that works on the farm, but every family member, I'm assuming, has a different job. We've just seen a lot of different jobs. So students, there's a lot of opportunities on farms if you're interested in them, which was some of the other pre-submitted questions was, what types of jobs are there? So obviously taking care of calves. We've seen milking cows.
Feeding cows.
If you like equipment, maybe working in the crop side of things, doing that, or plants. Lots of different options in living systems and STEM. This is very cool, Joel, to see all the behind the scenes of how you guys are doing this. Now, some of the other questions we had talked about earlier was, of course, when does a calf become an adult cow? And you had shared it with us. Remind our students again, how old are they?
2 years old.
2 years old. Okay. And what happens in their life that makes them an adult? Is there just like a day they wake up, or do we consider them adults after a certain life phase?
That's after they have a calf. At that 2 years age is when we target them to have a calf for the first time. They're matured.
Yeah.
They're able to handle it at that.
Once she had her first.
Yes.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense.
There's a red and white.
Oh, okay. So we're seeing a red and white Holstein here, students, a little color variation out there. And some of the other students had asked if the different breeds produce different kinds or different qualities of milk.
No, the brown ones don't make chocolate milk, unfortunately. That's right. Usually they're a little higher in butter fat, but That's about it. But just with the genetics of our Holsteins, they're
Got it.
performing right close to them.
Got it. So when we think about milk students, and even the milk that these calves are getting, they seem to be very hungry for today. When we think about that, the primary, I guess, components of that would, of course, be fat, protein, some sugars or lactose, the sugar that's in it, and of course, water, right? So milk has a high percentage of water as well. So all those good things that make up those kind of three categories, we give to the calves. And then, of course, the cows put into the milk that we then get to drink or make into cheese or ice cream, whatever it is. So how many animals, Joel, or how many calves, I guess, calves and heifers, as you call them, the teenagers, do you have on the farm at any given time?
There's around 150.
150. Okay, so there are more of them than there even are of the cows at times.
Yeah, there is some adult cows that aren't milking.
Oh.
Well, they're not before they have their calf.
Gotcha.
And so it's about 150 and 150. So there's like 25.
Okay.
Not milking at all times.
Not milking at all times. So students, that means for our cows out there in their year, because like in your year, you go to school for a certain amount of time and then you have summer vacation.
That's right.
So our cows kind of live a similar schedule from what it sounds like, Joel. They milk for 9 months, but then they have a kind of 2 to 3 month summer vacation.
2 months. They have a 2-month vacation time to rest and have a calf again.
Got it.
So they need that rest. That's very important.
Okay, cool. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. And we're seeing some more of these calves out here. So a couple other questions were coming in from the students, one of which was, are you selling your own milk here on the farm directly? You mentioned to us, no, it's going somewhere else.
Yes, that's correct. No milk is sold off the farm.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. So we are going to head over to the calf quiz and keep answering your questions here. So in some of the pre-submitted questions, Joel, some of our students were asking and wanted to know how farmers get paid. So do you get paid per gallon that goes off the grocery store shelf, or?
It's paid according to for every 100 pounds of milk is how the equation.
Got it. So every time you send 100 pounds of milk on that big tanker that we saw,
correct.
Right? Okay, that's how you're getting paid a certain amount of dollars.
And depends on the quantity of butter, fat, and protein in it too. The better the milk, the better value it has. Right.
So you as farmers have a lot of incentive to keep these cows as healthy as possible, make the highest quality milk, because that translates to a little bit more money.
Yes.
On the other side. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So one of the other questions that the students had asked when we had talked about the cows running or calves running is, how fast can a cow run?
Faster than I can.
Faster than Joel can. Okay, so
right.
Students, I actually know the answer to this one. So some cows can run up to 30 to 35 miles an hour when they are full sprinting.
Oh, wow.
So very, very fast. Now, I would say, Joel, your cows live a pretty leisurely life. I don't think they're quite getting up that fast anywhere here on the farm. So students, just know that they're mostly keeping it really, really relaxed.
Yes. We don't like to see them run.
No. We want them to be, like we talked about, we want them resting 14 hours a day. We can't be doing that if we're running sprints. Okay, so some of the other questions that the students had also asked us was, how long does it take to get the milk from your farm, maybe to a grocery store or even to a school?
It will take about 48 hours to keep it as fresh and get it delivered there as soon as possible.
So students,
48 hours.
That's really fresh to make it from the or
okay. Now you're back.
Perfect. Okay, Joel, we're going to roll into another question that some of the students were asking us earlier on in our tour, which was, do the cows eat the same food every day? You answer this: consistency, right? Yes. Same thing every day. Not like us getting some diet and variation. Okay, students, you have finished up your quiz. I'm glad that you guys probably got 100% on that. So Joel, we're going to kick it back here and just close out our tour with a couple of last questions for you. One of which, of course, is, you told us your favorite cow. What is your favorite dairy product?
My favorite dairy product is yogurt. I like them all, but yogurt is my favorite.
Okay,
It's
yogurt.
easy to eat. It's good for, it's very easy to eat.
Yes.
And it's very good for lactose intolerant people, and
Perfect. Yes.
it goes well.
Awesome. So yogurt is Joel's favorite. So be sure students to be on the lookout. I'm sure some of your schools have yogurt options. Now, of course, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that today is kind of a special day because it's Earth Day,
Earth Day.
right? So Joel, is there anything else you wanted to share with your students, maybe about how you're protecting the earth here or protecting the environment on your farm?
We enjoy providing feed for our cows. We have, as you saw in some of the pictures, we live along a river.
Yeah.
We continuously have crops growing in our fields.
Okay.
So the water, so there's good water quality.
Right.
And we like to take care of what's around here so water runoff does not happen and get into the water.
Yeah. So we're actually seeing this, students. You can kind of see in the background of where we are now that Joel has a nice big contained area, and that's housing all of the manure that the cows produce. So you can apply it to the fields. Very cool. And of course, students, you saw it too, right on the river.
Yes.
So it all works together as one big system in what you're doing to help keep the cows comfortable and healthy, but also keep the land healthy.
Yes.
Awesome.
Very responsible for the environment.
You have to be, right? Because you live here,
That's
you
right.
drink the water, you eat these products.
That's right.
And of course, we want to be able to share all of these with the community and the generations to come. So students, before we let you go, we want to say a big thank you to Joel for opening up the farm. Is there anything else you want to share with the students?
Well, I want to thank everybody for watching here today. And as you get out there and go try your different dairy products, whether it's milk, chocolate milk, cheese, ice cream, yogurt, cottage cheese, there's lots of good dairy products out there. Lots of good choices, students. Now, if you want to catch another tour, be sure to scan this QR code here. We have another tour actually coming up shortly, and then we will have many tours offered in the fall. But if you want to check out more tours now, you can also check out our YouTube channel, where there is a whole slew of over 20 other farms to tour that all do things a little differently than Joel. So check those out along with our lesson plans. We appreciate you being here today, and have a great rest of your school day.